setting goals. Now hold up. I know what you're thinking. You're sitting there being like, seriously? You just talked about editing and scripting and posting and we're starting with setting goals. I get it. If I were you, I would have the exact same thought process. And I would also be a little bit like, why this step? I'll tell you why. It's very important. Storytelling on social media is a relatively new thing. Unlike other careers, it's important to understand, what does success actually mean on social media? It's not clear at all. Is it how many followers you have? Is it how many likes you have? Is it how many views you have? Or is it not numbers related at all? Is it how much your audience relates to your content? Is it how many brand deals you get? Is it how many opportunities beyond that post you get? There is no right or wrong answer. The answer actually lies in you. So that's why the first step is, what is your goal? Why are you watching this class? And be honest here, because I can assure you the first answer that popped into your head, although it might sound nice, is probably not the complete truth. Because if you asked 2010 Lily, what is your goal with YouTube? I would have said, oh, you know what? I just like being creative and I really want to give back. And that's true. However, you know what's also true? I wanted it to be my career. I wanted to make money. I wanted my dreams to come true. I wanted to have events where the audience would know me. They would know my content. They would be excited to meet me. All of those things are valid. So this is a safe space. What I would like for you to do right now is genuinely think, what is your goal? And also know that this answer can change over time, and that's completely fine. I think something I stressed about a lot over the past 10 years, my goals changed. And I beat myself up about it so much, thinking, oh, but my first vision board had money on it and it had numbers on it. And then at a certain point, I stopped caring about that. I stopped caring about how many subscribers I got. I stopped caring about how many views I got. And I started to care more about fancier projects and longer form storytelling and being more risky with my content. That's where I am right now. But that doesn't mean that's where you have to be. So right now, what is your goal? For example, if your goal is, I want to be a brand, I want to get impressive numbers on my videos, I want to make money, I want to open my own studio, XYZ, yada, yada, then that means you're going to really want to hone in on the strategic parts of this class. How to get eyeballs on your videos, how to work with brands, how to make your stuff seem really buzzy and timely so people are talking about it. However, if your goal is, I've never seen someone that looks like me on screen and I want to make meaningful content, then maybe you focus more on the parts about authenticity, telling the story that only you can tell, about how to connect with an audience. And maybe numbers don't matter as much. Maybe it doesn't matter if you have 1 million views. Maybe it matters more if you have 100 views of people who are dying to see your next video. Your goal and what your goal is going to really depend on what you take away from this class. Another reason it's important to set goals is because it's going to matter when it comes to where you choose to post content and how you choose to post content. For example, if your goal is money, which we've established is fine. It's fine to want to make money. But if your goal is money, you want to post on platforms that are monetizable. That's going to matter. If your goal is, I don't care about the money much, I just want a lot of people to see my content so it can reach a lot of people, your goal is going to be to post somewhere where it's very easy to access your content and there's no paywall and people don't have to watch an ad and there's no chance of them clicking away. So it really matters what your goal is, because if you don't know your goal, you're not going to know the roadmap. Basically like saying, if you don't know what your destination is, how are you going to follow the GPS? Now, setting your goals cannot happen unless you're specific. So there are certain tools I use when it comes to goal setting. One of them is a vision board. I'm a huge advocate for vision boards, and I'm about to totally nerd out on you. Real talk. What does it mean to say, I want money? What does that mean? How much money? How much money do you have to make for you to have made money? What does it mean for you to say, I want to impact people? Does that mean if one person approaches you and says, your video made my day, will you feel successful? It's good to be specific when you're talking about goals. So instead of saying, I want to make money, say, I want to make $50,000 this year. Instead of saying, I want to impact people, say something like, I want to build a community of 200 people that are very engaged with my content. Instead of saying, I want to shoot with cool people I look up to, say, I want to do a collaboration video with my idol whose name is Lily Singh. That's sweet, but whoever. Now, you're in a class with me. And when you're in class with me, you're going to get strategy, but you're also going to get spirituality. Okay, because I'm going to get deep for a second. One of the ways you can help set a goal for yourself is by paying attention to your daydreams. And let me explain what I mean by that. A lot of times when people are like, I don't know what my goal is, and I don't know what I want to achieve, and I don't know what I want to get out of this. Well, what do you daydream about? I say this because I started to pay attention to my daydreams. You know, in 2010, when I was driving, I used to daydream about being on the radio, saying, hey, this is Lily singing, you're listening to da-da-da-da, and I'm so excited to tell you about my new project. I used to do that. I used to daydream about being on a set where someone would, and I didn't even know what a slate was at that time, but I knew I was gonna be on a set, and there's gonna be people shooting me, and there's gonna be a sound person, and they're going to use green screen, and I used to daydream about that. And so I knew that my goal was to create content that was bigger and better and that would be recognized. I knew that, and I can say that. I don't think any goal you say is a matter of ego. This is a safe space. It's your goal. So whatever you daydream about, pay attention to that and incorporate that into your goal. I generally set goals for a year, and that's because I make a vision board every year. I give myself a year to try things out. And the reason I do that is because I think social media is ever changing. And I think there's obstacles that will probably pop up that I could not even tell you about right now because they don't exist yet, such as the land of the internet. It is ever evolving. I'm a believer that consistency should be at least a year when you're trying something. So if you're trying to build an audience and you've tried for 2 months and it's not working, I don't think you should give up in less time than a year. However, I do think you should pivot your strategy. So in other words, I don't think you should go from plan A to plan B unless you tried for a year. However, I do think you should go from plan A to plan A.1 if it's not working out. I've had to become comfortable with the idea of what I consider success changing over the past 10 years. And I've gone through a lot of phases. In 2010, I wanted the numbers and I wanted to learn. And then a little bit later, I wanted opportunity. I wanted to collab. I wanted to work with brands. Where I am today is a goal I'm very comfortable with. My goal today is to create content that I am proud of and that is fun for me to create. My reality is that I shoot for 13-ish hours a day and I want to finish that shoot. And on the drive home, I want to say that was really fun. I don't want to do things that don't excite me. And I understand that's a privileged position to be in, but I haven't always been in that position. But that's what my goal is right now. Create content that I think is fun, that I'm proud of, and that means something to people. So what I would like you to do is I want you to genuinely, honestly think, what is your goal? What do you want to get out of these lessons? And be very specific and honest. And then if you choose, post them in the project gallery. And don't go anywhere because coming up, we're gonna talk about ideation. Ooh, it's gonna get juicy.